I'm Lauren Fulton, a full-time teacher, author, and seller on Teachers Pay Teachers, and today we're going to be covering some beginner tips on how to get feedback and followers for your Teachers Pay Teachers store. So I have a community for Teachers Pay Teachers sellers on Facebook called The Rebranded Teacher. If you want to join, the link for that is below. And one of the things that I see asked a lot in the group is, how do I get more followers and how do I get more feedback? How do I get people to leave me reviews on the products that they've purchased or downloaded for free? Obviously, people are going to want to get followers and feedback. It just makes good sense. Followers are really great on Teachers Pay Teachers because you can send a note out to your followers. Once a month, Teachers Pay Teachers will allow you to send a note out to your followers. You can advertise a new product line, you can talk to them about a new seasonal resource that you have for sale. Anything that you want to send to them, you can send to them once a month, which is awesome because you want to be able to communicate with your buyers. Another great reason people would want to have followers on Teachers Pay Teachers, and the reason why you would want to have followers, is because once you post a new product, that new product will show up on the homepage of Teachers Pay Teachers for anybody who follows you. It'll say new resources from sellers you like. And that's really great because you get some exposure for your new resources and then hopefully more purchases for that resource. Feedback is another really great thing. Whenever somebody goes to purchase a resource on Teachers Pay Teachers, obviously they're going to want to see it's been purchased before and those people liked it. And that's going to influence them, hopefully, to purchase your product. And so if you don't have any feedback, sometimes we worry that maybe if a buyer happens across my product and there's no feedback left for it, maybe they won't want to purchase it. So it makes sense that these are two of the most asked questions. Everybody wants followers, everybody wants feedback. So we're going to cover a couple of ways that you can get those two things when you're new on TPT. I'm also going to preface this by saying that there is no magic thing that you can do that's going to get you followers and feedback overnight, at least not the right way. And I'm going to caution you against doing things like getting feedback and getting followers from other TPT sellers. A lot of times I'll see people post on Facebook or inside a seller group and they'll say, hey, follow my store and I'll follow your store too. And that's really great if both of you sell and purchase, say, English resources. But if one of you purchases and sells Spanish resources, the other one purchases and sells history resources, then you're really not doing each other any good at all. And the truth of the matter is, no buyer is going to go to your store and think, wow, I love everything that I see here. But you know what? They only have 12 followers, so obviously they're not very popular. I don't want to follow them. And likewise, nobody's going to go to your store and say, wow, they have 10,000 followers. I want to follow them too, but I don't really like their resources. If a buyer likes your resources and they want to come back for more, they're going to follow your store. That's just kind of how it works. And the amount of followers that you have shouldn't influence them one way or the other. So don't try to cheat your way around to get more followers just for the sake of having more followers, because it really doesn't do you any good. So let's talk about a couple of ways that you can get followers. We're going to talk about that first. One of the great ways that you can do this and get people who actually are interested in your resources is by this handy little link that shows up in your dashboard. When you go to your dashboard on Teachers Pay Teachers, next to your logo, there's a little button that says Share, Follow, Link. And if you click on that button, it's going to copy a link onto your clipboard that when buyers click on it, it will automatically follow your store. So it will take them to your store page and automatically follow you. So it's really great. So where can you put this? Well, you can put it everywhere. I would put it, in fact, I do put it in my resources you may like page that my product insert. I have a page in every product, every PDF resource that I have has a page of resources that you may like. And then down at the bottom, it says, click here to shop or click here to go to my store. And that link will take them to my store and it will automatically follow me. If they're not logged in, it'll prompt them to log in, and then it'll automatically follow you. So that's a really great place to put it. Another great place would be your link in bio. So if you have an Instagram account or you even have an email list, it works there too. Anything that you're automatically sending people to your Teachers Pay Teachers store, that's a great place to put it. Because that person, if they're going to your store, they're interested in what you're selling. And so you're automatically getting somebody who is interested in your products to follow you. So that's a really great way to do it. You could also take that link and you could create a pin for your store. I once created a pin. It had a bunch of my different most popular resources, and it said something like, click here to shop more math mini mysteries, or click here to shop mini mysteries, or click here to shop this, that, or the other, or whatever product line that you're advertising on Pinterest. They click on that, it takes them to your store to shop. It also automatically follows you. So there's a really great way to do it. Another one of my favorite ways to gain followers, and you'll hear me talk about this a lot, is by creating product lines. One of the most authentic ways to get someone to follow your store is to get them interested in what you're selling and to say, hey, I loved that resources that I purchased. I'm going to want to purchase some more of these. And the best way to do that is to have a product line. A product line is when you have a group of resources that are very similar to each other. So, for example, like a set of escape rooms, or a set of digital mazes, or a set of digital task cards. You have products that are super similar, but they cover different standards. And so whenever a teacher comes to your store and they find a set of digital task cards over the Civil War, for example, and they may want to follow your store to come back to get task cards over the Revolutionary War if they loved those task cards. If, however, a buyer comes to your store and they purchase a really great set of Civil War task cards, but when they look around they see that you don't have any other task card, or they do have other task cards but they're all in another grade level, well, they're less likely to follow your store because the thing that they loved so much you don't have more of. So product lines are a really phenomenal way to build a reputation and thus gain followers. Now let's talk about feedback, because followers are great, but you can have all the followers you want, and if you don't have any of them coming back to say, hey, I loved this resource, and leave you a little testimonial, then it's going to be harder to get your resources to gain traction in the search engines. So the more you sell, theoretically, the more ratings or the more feedback you're going to have. I think in general, a good rule of thumb would be about 10%, give or take a percent or two. So if you sell 100 resources, you should expect to get 10 reviews off of those 100 resources. Now, this isn't always the case, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer for that 10% to show up. For example, I see a huge spike in feedback right before and during site-wide sales. Teachers Pay Teachers has site-wide sales usually 5 times a year. Once at back to school, and then they have a back to school bonus sale, and then they have a Cyber Monday sale, and then they usually have another one in February, and then another one again around Teacher Appreciation Week in May. So you have 4 opportunities, or you have 4 to 5 times a year where teachers want to rack up TPT credits. So buyers can earn credits for leaving reviews. So whenever they leave a review on a product that they've purchased, they get TPT credits to purchase another product. This is TPT's way of encouraging buyers to leave feedback, which is really great because you can use this to your advantage. So let's say that you sold 100 seasonal resources in just the month of December. You might not see that 10% of feedback roll back around until the next site-wide sale around February. So don't be discouraged if you don't immediately see that 10%, especially if you're a newer store. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for that feedback to catch up. But you should see an increase in reviews right around the time of a site-wide sale. I say all that to say, don't get discouraged because you sold 50 resources and only 2 or 3 people have come back to leave a review. That's very normal, and sometimes it just takes a while. But what can you do in the meantime to kind of encourage buyers to leave a review? Well, you can leave another note inside of your product inserts. So on your product insert, you should have a terms of use page where you talk about things that they can and cannot do with your resource. You cover all of your legal stuff, but you can also leave a little note at the bottom that says, did you know you could earn free products by leaving reviews on Teachers Pay Teachers? Here's how. You could also put a blast out on social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is you have, reminding buyers, especially around the time of a site-wide sale, like, hey guys, don't forget you can earn free TPT credits for leaving reviews on Teachers Pay Teachers. Here's how. Then leave them a couple of slides showing them how to do that and how to earn those free credits. Or you could take a video of yourself leaving reviews for products that you've purchased and getting your credits on Teachers Pay Teachers. Lastly, let's talk about the biggest factor in getting feedback and followers, and that's time. I know that when you first start, it's kind of hard to wait, especially when maybe you've been selling for months and you still don't have the number of followers or the reviews that you really wanted. But honestly, time is the biggest factor in getting those two things. And so I really want to encourage you to not freak out over those things, because you can't control them. You can't control the number of people who follow you. You can't control the amount of people who come back to leave reviews. You just really can't. Focus on the things that you have some control over, so you don't get bogged down by the things that you don't. I hope this video was helpful, and if you liked it, please be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos for beginner sellers on Teachers Pay Teachers. You can also join the Facebook group that I mentioned before, the Rebranded Teacher, by clicking down. There's a link in the description to that Facebook group. There's also a link to join my email list, and when you join the Facebook group or the email list, you get a free year-long planner. So you're going to want to join one of those two.